The Object 268 version 4 is a Tier 10 Soviet collector tank destroyer. It is a vehicle which features very strong frontal protection, high alpha damage, decent damage per minute, and pretty solid mobility when you add all the other things I told you about already. It's honestly a fantastic Tier 10, and if played properly can be a very dangerous vehicle. This week in World of Tanks, it is for sale. It is 22,500 gold if you want to get it with everything else included, and 20,000 gold if you don't. It's somewhere down below. Honestly, for a 2,000 gold difference between this bundle and the tank without the camo and not being equipped, I just recommend to drop the extra 2,000 gold and get the 10 mystery boxes, which will probably give you back about 2,000 gold, so it's probably better just to get this bundle, especially comes with 30 days of premium and the camo. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing the V4 and letting you know my personal opinions on this tank. First thing that's going to happen is Droodles is becoming super white. Well, actually, I didn't become super white. Sometimes when I pull up Blitz analysis, the white screen flashes me on camera. But in front of us we have the relative win rate of all the tier 10 tank destroyers. We can clearly see that the 113 GFT is the #1 performer, as it's an overpowered tank right now. The Minnow is the #2 slot, which is also understandable as it's an incredibly good tank. E3, super good haul down style tank destroyer. And then we have the V4 basically tied with the FE2N7 Badger. So the V4 is still the 4th best performing tier 10 tank destroyer in the game. It used to be the #1, but my guess is once it lost the alpha damage, because it used to have 690 and now it has 650, a lot less people are now playing the tank, which personally doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's still a very good vehicle. As we can see, it's got 2,800 DPM with calibrated. It's got pretty good mobility, reaching 40 kilometers per hour. Half of that is in reverse speed at 20, which is very, very nice for such a heavily armored vehicle. So I actually really like the V4, and I do think that if played properly, this is easily one of the most annoying tanks to counter in tier 10. But what the problem is most people don't know how to play this tank properly. I would say the average player just over-angles this tank 90% of the time they play it, and because of that, it's very easy to just cut right through the armor. So we are going to see just exactly what we can do in this battle. We have 2 mice up against us, which is glorious, to be honest. If we can farm out these mice, it will be huge. We have a lot of heavily armored vehicles. We got a Jagdpanzer, we got a 57 Heavy, so we're going to start off this game by making our way to the B crossing overlook, which is right here. This is a pretty good position, aiming on the BZ lower plate, and there you go. Nice 700 damage shell, pretty good stuff. And now we just angle the hull out like this, and nobody pens me. Alright, pretty good stuff. We are going to reload, and we'll see if we're able to aim in a shell at all on the BZ. Let's see, aiming, and bonk. Aw, shell went just a little bit too high. That is obviously one big downside of the 268 version 4, is a very inaccurate gun. You will not be hitting crazy shots with this vehicle. It's just kind of how it works. We're going to be aiming it on the grill. There you go, 784 damage shell into the rear of his tank. As we can see, the gun hits hard. 2 pens are up to 1,500 damage, which is something that I do really like about this tank in general. A hard-hitting gun makes it rather enjoyable to play with. So we're going to get another shell out, 650 damage into the Foch. I probably could have high explosive penned him, but it's not that big of a deal. We are already up to 2,000 damage now. We're going to pull off to the side of this mouse. We're going to aim in a heat shell, which, if we pen, there you go, is a low rolling shot at only 466, but at least we still get it out. 57 Heavy is sucking and bouncing every shot on the BZ. Thankfully, we do exist. Wow, how do you bounce that many oh, okay, that's how, I guess. Thanks, Wargaming. Okay, that one made no sense. The only problem we're facing right now is that the BZ has a lot of armor that we're trying to cut through, which is obviously quite tricky, But we know how to angle this tank properly, which means that as long as we angle it correctly here, we should do okay. And now that the BZ is backing up, we can just aim it on his lower plate, getting another nice pen in. So we're getting out good bleeds here, and this BZ doesn't really know what to do up against us. I'm just going to make sure that I have access to his lower plate at all times. His driver being dead is obviously a big help to that. And there you go. Easy clear into the enemy BZ. Alright, we got a little bit trolled when trying to shoot out his tank, but not that big of a deal. We still have over 1,000 health left. And yeah, as I said, this is a pretty good tank in general, just because of the armored features and the fact that it still hits really hard. I don't personally understand why the V4 has fallen that much in performance when that's what you can get away with. 4,400 damage, we blocked 1,000, we got a first class. Pretty solid stuff if you ask me. Alright, here we are, game number 2, and let's see what we can do. Up against us, we have an AMX-50B, and a TNH-VZ-51, M5Yo. Actually, they got a lot of nasty vehicles. They got a 183, an E3, and a Conway. Now, one thing that I will say I absolutely hate Wargaming did to the V4, and I don't understand why they do this, is give tanks APCR standard. It is literally the most annoying thing ever. APCR is okay as a premium shell, but it is awful as a standard shell because it just has less pen and effective shell normalization than AP. So essentially what Wargaming did is they shadow nerfed the AP penetration when they gave it APCR. It's very, very annoying. It causes ricochets that wouldn't have occurred before. Anybody that plays this tank knows how irritating APCR premium is. What's even more impressive is seeing that the enemy 183 is driving in the open and getting away with it, and our V4 is poking side on to the enemy team and dying. Ah yes, what a skilled team I have been gifted today. The 183 has died, and in return we have lost 2 full health heavies. Whoa, what a skilled team. Well, we have the Bashation hatch, and that shell was not even remotely close to hitting him. And the good news is that we have pretty good armor, so I'm not too worried about the Bashation, and as we can see, he literally just ran away. So at least this tank has that going for it. We have the E3. Oh, we got the 50B. There you go. At least we hit that. Alright. Man, I just can't believe that we have lost 2 tier 10s already. That is so sad. Alright, well the 50B is going to run around this corner, so realistically all I have to do is like wait right here, and he's gonna die. So let's just wait a little bit longer. There's no way this guy just keeps going, right? I mean, there's no way he just rolls around the corner. Yep, he does. Whoa! Don't worry though, in return for me killing one of their tanks, another one of my teammates has died. I keep forgetting how challenging it must be to, you know, not die. You know, it's very, very tricky. Ooh, alright, well, let's just aim it on the Yo, and bonk, 613. Accidentally tapped my mic a little bit, but doesn't matter too much. We are just pushing the enemy off of their positions right now. I'm going to drive down this hill. I don't know if that E3... What the heck am I looking at, bro? Why is the enemy E3 over here? Alright, well, if that E3 moves up the way he is, that's fine with me, because we have the side of the Conway. So let's just aim it on the Conway. Oh yeah, we love the accuracy. See, this is one of the reasons why the V4 can be very infuriating to drive, because the gun on the V4 kinda sucks. And, it does work. I mean, as we can see, you can get some good bleeds out, but not every time it works. And when it doesn't, it does make you hate life a little bit. So we're just going to aim it on the rear of the TNH-VZ, and there you go. Nice slap. Finishing off his tank. We have the E3 behind. I really don't know what the E3 is doing. This guy is just, he's going in on his own little adventure over here. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do, which is... I'm just going to drive up the hill, honestly, and fight him frontally. I was going to go behind him, but I just couldn't be bothered. I'm just going to drive around here. Oh, yeah, great shot. And we're just going to overmatch his roof. That's one of the nice things about the V4, is that it does have a pretty high caliber gun, which means you can overmatch armor pretty easily. So we're just going to aim it on the E3's lower plate. There you go. Yeah, oh yeah, this was a great play from you, E3. This was absolutely outstanding. Oh man, I don't know what goes through the minds of players sometimes. You know what the crazy part is? The E3 barely even out damage per minute to me. I don't even think it out reloads me because I got less alpha damage. This tank's reload is actually pretty fast. I don't know how this game became so... Actually, I do know how this game became such an easy win. The enemy 183 YOLO'd in the open and killed himself. The E3 YOLO'd in the open and killed himself. And the 50B YOLO'd in the open and killed himself. This was literally my team killing themselves and then the enemy team killing themselves. The Balshation is speeding away. It's a little unfortunate the VK decided to climb up the hill the moment we got over here, because now we have to drive all the way around. Well, at this point, I'm just going to capture the base. I don't see any reason to do any other play here, especially when we are in supremacy. I see that tree was knocked down, though, so I'm going to aim it right at that tree. Wow. Yeah. That is the one downside of this tank, is that it really just doesn't hit anything. But we're chilling here. And there's the Balshation running, and here I am capturing the base. I don't see any world where that Bat Chat can win this game when our team is already up on base cap, and there's only a minute left in the battle. But it's possible our VK could die, so there is that. But we've gotten one base capped. I'm going to make my way to base B. Well, he's going to kill our VK, but once again, we're still up on base cap. It doesn't matter. I mean... Yeah, supremacy for the win. There's really not much you can do in a V4 against a Bat Chat. I mean, you're just not mobile enough to catch it. Even if I did spot the guy, I wouldn't even have one-shot him. So that was basically playing cat and mouse for the majority of the end of the game there. But we won. We did 4,600 damage. We blocked over 1,700 and had a pretty solid result. So I really can't complain all too much. The V4 is a great tank. It still is. I actually like the way the gun works. I think the DPM is solid, and the mobility is really what allows this tank to be so effective with the 20 kilometers per hour reverse paired with the level of armor it has. I'm not going to say that it's like the best tier 10 when the 113 GFT exists, and that's what my advice would be. If you don't want to spend 20k gold, and I don't recommend you do, I think there's better tier 10s out there, especially collectors, which can be more fun. But yeah, if you don't want to spend gold on the V4, just go grind the 113 GFT. If you haven't ground this tank already, I don't know why. There's no real reason, because this is literally the best tank in the game. The whole line's great, starting at the tier 8 and above. They're all great, so I just don't understand why more people aren't grinding the 113 GFT, but... it's not my problem. I'm glad I don't have to deal with them. The V4 is great, and I can't really say anything negative about it apart from the poor accuracy and APCR. But, I mean, every tank has its downsides, and this tank definitely needs downsides to balance out the armor and everything else it has going for it. So, yeah, it's a pretty fun tank. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.